You know, what's interesting right now is there are a lot of shows on currently that sort of deal with these similar themes of post-apocalyptic and sort of what does happen to society when it breaks down.
Oh, man.
Why do you guys think that is? Do you ever sit and think, and JJ, you're the master.
You've got special sauce.
Yeah, you got the special sauce.
No, I don't know. You know, I think that that part of it is that a story like this. All I can tell you is that when Eric pitched the show, the idea of it, we are all living in a world of instantaneous information. We all feel, you know, entitled to know everything immediately, to get the thing we want immediately, to be able to, you know, with a phone, push a button that doesn't even really exist, using money that we don't even see to download something that we don't even feel or have, that we just know, you know, that when you get the song, I mean, I've downloaded songs and haven't even listened to them because I'm like, oh, I have them now. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? So I feel like, you know,
me out, by the way.
I think just we're living in a crazy time, and I think that a natural response to that is, you know, what if it all just stopped? Mm-hmm. Like, what if that stopped, and it wouldn't all be bad? And I think that there's wish fulfillment in the idea of that going away, and the other side of you know, the coin is it's scary, and a lot of us would not eat. and so I think that when we heard this pitch, it was immediately compelling because it's a cautionary tale on the one hand and wish fulfillment on the other.
Although I would like to add a little bit of history in the development of this project, because my very first pitch to them, I said, so it's 15 years later, and here's these characters, and here's Charlie, and here's Miles, and JJ was like, this is cool, that's really interesting. What caused the end of the world? Like, what happened 15 years ago? And I was like, I don't know, nuclear war, I think, I don't know. And I was like, maybe disease, I don't know. And to JJ and Brian were first decided not to throw me out of their offices, which was very nice of them. And then after going, and then they had the notion, which was like, you know, because I think that you were kicking around an idea that had
about 2 weeks earlier, we were in our TV meeting, and Brian Burke, who is my producing partner, pitched an idea that had really no characters, but it was a premise. And the premise was the power goes out. And he had a reason for why it happened and pitched it. It was a different thing. But the idea was a very big idea. And it was sort of an undeniably cool idea. And then, like, sort of, you know, Reese's peanut butter cup style.
Exactly.
Eric comes in, he's like, you know, I got peanut butter, and we were all like, we got some chocolate.
Right. It's almost exactly
Literally
how it
did that.
happened. Yeah. Literally.
Where did the idea come from for the pendants and sort of going that direction? And
well, part of it is it's like what I really wanted to do, and what I was really inspired by for this show was like these sort of big sweeping Lord of the Rings epic storytelling shit, and so we said, and frankly, the necklaces are like just one click too on the nose for me looking back. Like, I kind of wish like they weren't so like I wish we could have, you know, I wish it was, I don't know, but whatever, hindsight. But we were like, okay, so what's the ring? You know, like what are the things that have, you know, and when I say power, I don't mean power, electric power, although that's what's defined. I mean like magic and importance and mystery and what are the objects in the world that everyone's fighting for. And so it honestly became, okay, so if this is Middle Earth on the you know, on the American highway, with truck stops and diners instead of ruins.
And swords was a big part of it.
And swords.
Yeah.
Fucking swords.
Swords and arrows, yeah.
And all that. And then like, so, but where's the magic, you know? And that's what's interesting to me too about bringing technology, because we are now in the second half of the season, we're starting to bring technology back in. And we spent a lot of time saying there's no technology. And now we're starting to bring it back in, and people are asking us a lot, like, are you sure? And,
right, how much?
And how far do you go? And can you pull it back? And all that stuff. And what's interesting to us, there's this Arthur C. Clarke quote that we were talking about the other day, which is, technology can get so advanced that it's indistinguishable from magic. And that you have this society that has none of it, and then someone shows up with a helicopter, and that's wondrous. That's magic. for this world. You know, in our audience, we see it and we know that it's a helicopter and a Humvee or whatever, but to them who don't have it or have access to a computer, it's like one of the moments that I thought was really gratifying with the job that John did on the pilot that was extraordinary was at the very end, you know, we screen it for an audience, and the very end, like, Grace goes out and she starts, like, banging on, like, her Apple IIe from like 87.
Yeah.
And the audience gasps. And they're like, oh my God! You know, and you're like, that is like the oldest, crappiest analog computer ever. And the audience looks at it like, because then I started to realize, oh, I think we kind of got something here, because I think people bought into the world when they saw that and they saw that that was a magical object.
Yeah.
And so that was exciting, and it's fun to start playing with those colors again.